I have a habit of getting dumped on by people, dumped on in the sense of uh, their emotional problems in inappropriate circumstances by, you know, people who don't even really know me, but even sometimes people who do but are not at that level. And the question is, how do you get out of that situation? Because over the years, what I've developed is an avoidance of people because I think to myself, because when someone is dumping out their grief and their pain, I I think I just can't bring myself to say, I gotta go. That feels so um insensitive. But of course, the flip side is they really shouldn't be sharing any of that stuff with me because that is not the relationship that we have. Or maybe it's just a not appropriate circumstance, even if we are veering toward that kind of relationship. So in those kind of circumstances, how do you get out of that so that it's a healthier response rather than I just want to avoid people altogether so that I'm not in that circumstance. But if I have tools to get out of that circumstance, then I would be less likely to just want to avoid people in general.
That is a really, really tough situation to be in, particularly when, as most of us in the ELT community are, caring people. We care about people. We we are growing in our abilities to be able to invest in people, to steward those relationships for the purpose of helping them to experience a gain and a benefit. And at the same time, going back to our concentric circles in ELT2, sometimes people just kick all the doors down. And suddenly they're in a at a level five conversation when you've got a level two and a half or three uh, relationship. I can tell you the kinds of things that go through my mind when that happens. First of all, I look for an opportunity as early as appropriate because I don't want to be disrespectful of what they're talking about. But I also get that sometimes people are just uh, they're fire hydrants, and they feel like you're a safe person. They feel like I'm a safe person, and so they just feel like they have permission to say whatever they want to say. What I look for is an opportunity to appreciate their willingness to share that with me and trust me. And then I want to ask them a question as early as I can. What is it you're hoping I can do for you? What is it? What is there a way that you want me to help you with this? Because I think in the answer to that question, there's an opportunity for us to clearly set a boundary that says, I really, again, I really appreciate you trusting me with this, but I don't think I can help you with that. Who do you have in your life, in your circle of your sphere of influence, the people that you're surrounded with, who you could talk more deeply about this? I'm just not sure that I'm the person. And I think that those setting those kinds of boundaries are going to be uncomfortable because they feel rude or uncaring. But in some ways, setting that limit is is the most caring thing that you can do. Because if you're not equipped, if you're not, and equipped may be in terms of experience and skill, it may be in terms of energy, it may be in terms of desire to grow a level five relationship with that person, then there you have no business going into that. that is not healthy for them, and it certainly is not healthy for you. And you and I have talked about this before, but uh, I do think that there's a tool of influence that we don't put on the chart, we don't put up on the screen, but sometimes rudeness is a tool of influence. Sometimes when somebody is being rude or disrespectful, and sometimes those kinds of we'll call them, that kind of vomiting is rude and disrespectful. Sometimes it may require the practice of a bit, not outright, but a bit of rudeness. I appreciate you telling me this, but I'm just not equipped to be able to handle this right now. Now that sounds rude, it feels rude, it doesn't feel loving, but it is important at times to be able to set boundaries. And if the only tool you've got in the bag to do it, being a bit rude, may be a helpful